to this bad boy, this brand new crate motor from GM Performance. It's actually going in the Black Pearl car. Everything changed this week. We all shifted gears and we're doing something new. As one car moves out, the next cars kind of move in. So this one right now has to get prepped to go in the other chassis because you don't want to put it in the chassis and all the rigmarole. We already know exactly where it goes because we did the Gray Ghost one, right? So the LT4 with the 6L80E is all figured out. This car is actually getting the Brian Tooley racing stuff. New cam, new lifters, new valve springs, set of ARP bolts, new head gaskets, DOD delete, and the head's got to come off. The oil pan's got to get changed. The cam's going to get changed. The lifters get changed. It's a good week. It's going to be really fun this week. I love it when things shift gears. Boom! Man, it's just a cool car. Wait till you see what I'm going to do to it. It ain't even fast yet, baby. Isn't it amazing? Like the size of those intake ports. I was walking by as he's pulling that, intake off of it. I'm like, holy cow, they're absolutely huge. They're huge. This is the intake ports. And if you look down inside of there, did you ever do any porting for a living?
I did. Did part-time, a little bit.
What does that say to you?
Those are some of the most impressive ports on an engine I've ever seen.
Me too.
Just phenomenal. The design, size.
Here's what's the difference between an LS motor and an LT motor. Let me teach you real quick. This is the fuel rail right here. Boom, 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 right? Fuel comes in and it goes through this fuel rail right here. It comes in the back right here. And what happens is the injector is actually mounted in the head right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We got 8 injectors that are all directly into the head. And this thing literally has fuel pressure at like 2,400, 2,500 PSI. Like a diesel, or I don't know, it's crazy. So anyways, that direct import direction right there is the difference between an LT4 and an LS motor. In an LS motor, it's actually injected into the intake manifold. Here, it's directly into the top of the cylinder head. It's just a little tidbit on the difference from an LT4 to an LS motor. This is impressive, man, impressive. As you can see, we're taking a lot of care with this LT4 motor. Actually, they're really hard to get now from General Motors. I've got 2 more on order, and I don't know when I'm going to see them, but as long as I got this one in our hands, we are going to make it absolutely perfect. We'll add horsepower to it, get it tuned, and it's going to be a dynamo inside of that Chevelle. As you can see, this week we keep shifting gears from the motor. Now I get to go drive Bill Conrad's car, and I'm just going to use it like anybody else would. Church, the grocery store, maybe date night. It is amazing. Let me tell you more. I just got back from the initial break-in drive on that bad boy. Wow, I am just amazed how good and how great it performed. Not that I thought it was going to be bad, but I really do believe that is the best car we've ever built up to this point in time yet. I got 140 miles, went through a whole tank of gas. That's not good. Yeah, what we got to do now is, I got a whole list of things that we're going to make better for this car, and then when we build the number 3 car, all that stuff. It's making me nervous, can you tell? Anyways, we're going to go underneath and I'm going to double check all of the underpinnings, meaning the suspension, the components. I want to see if anything's rattling, loose, anything's really changed. So you know what we're doing is, part of the test ride and the drive out procedure is, if you look at all these marks on here, boom, 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 as we put the car together, everything has a torque spec. And everything is set up there, and when I put the colored marks on it, I know exactly who my tech was that actually tightened it all up. So we're going to go around the thing, we double check all the torque specs on all the critical components, and then we're just going to go over everything to see how she's doing and how she's, how she's fitting together, how it's actually all, is anything loose, is anything rattling, is there anything that needs attention? But everything has a mark and has a torque spec. We're just going to go back over it again, and then we will go under the engine bay And double check everything up there. This thing is dry and clean. Really runs fantastic. It's amazing. I can't wait to come take a ride with me. Don't look in the light. Ha! Anyways, we'll go up top and we'll check out all the things that we need to finish up there. I am jacked, man. This thing handles and drives just amazing. But anyways, that's what you do. Go over everything, double check, triple check. And then we'll go up top and I'll show you what's needed still on the interior. What's cool is like everything we learned on number 1, we applied to number 2. Now everything in detail I'm going to learn on number 2, we're going to apply to number 3. That way the first drives, the initial drives are going to be even better. Man, it's really something. Yeah, now that we're inside the car, well, you can see you run it with the dash off and it really works well, but these things are made by Vintage Air. Look at how floppy and cheesy this is. We use a temperature gauge and an animator to actually check out how well it's actually performing. And I think it's not blowing as cold as it needs to yet. But anyways, these got to come out. This thing's got to get cut down so that's back recessed appropriately. Actually, the stereo's working really good. I got to add the cup holders in here. I'm going to change this light to blue. I'm also looking for a new style rear view mirror that's, rather than mount here, I want it to mount here with an arm that comes back. And I want to put lighting underneath the, the rear view mirror. I might even put a forward facing camera if somebody wants that in there. Those details like that just got to get wrapped up. But the stereo was kick butt. I'm very happy with it. It was a little noisy, but I got no interior. So, the sound's going to obviously make issues. But the windows work great. There's a lot of really good things. I really love the carpet, the way we got it relaid out and what we did with that. I'm thinking about adding a cabin filter on the inside. But other than that, it's really good. And then the seat, the way the tracks come from the manufacturer, it leans a little bit to the inside. Look, if you look in there, see it kind of has just a touch of a lean to it. See that? I can feel it when I'm in the car. Getting a white vinyl top, white interior. If you notice, I'm running it with the black interior. You know why? I'm wearing dirty jeans, and I don't want to be responsible for that stuff. I got to put the seat belts in, but man, I'm telling you, 140 miles of great performance on this thing. I'm very impressed. Might be one of the best cars we've ever built from the beginning. Can't wait to see number 3. All right, it's been a really busy afternoon. Now I got to get on the hustle because I just got a call from my interior guy. We're going to actually get the beautiful 50/50 to the interior shop. And there goes Conrad's car off to the interior shop. I can't wait to get that thing back and keep driving it. It's been fun. Speaking of fun, we got to get to the number 3 car because we've got a lot of work going on in that bad boy. It's a good week. Shifting gears again. So here it is now. We're up front in the factory where we actually have a 4-post lift mounted because we got the LT4 motor in there. We got the headers on it. The exhaust is run all the way back. The frame's all modified, and now it goes to the wiring department. So, it's so nice to see it all fresh. Look at that. So I should buy stock in 3M. And I think that's where we buy the tape from. The customer, his name is Chad. He already loves this car. We talk pretty much 2 or 3 times a week, talking about the different things that we want to do. One thing that was a priority for him, he wanted the glass out of it, and he wanted it to be really super clean and perfect up front. In fact, we also decided that it's going to go through major paint correction. It's a nice paint job, but he wants it to be a perfect paint job. So that was a little news flash for last week. You can see our dash is already mounted into it. The fuse panel's already mounted into it. So out of fabrication, this is kind of the way it goes. So fabrication gets it all prepped and ready to be pretty. As you can see, we shot that whole firewall, and if you recall, we actually made this firewall with a glue-in style firewall. So it's got studs, it's bolted, screwed, and glued, and tattooed. Well, you can see the tattoo now. Look how flat and straight it is. We used a heavier gauge material, and it is really rock solid. I'm very, 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 very happy with the process. And I know that this number 3 car is actually going to be better than the number 2 car. Chuck, you start laying out all your wiring parts. Get them ready to go there, big boy. It's time. It's time. Show you a neat little trick. Have you ever seen cars when they paint over the cowl tags and the VIN numbers and then it just gets buried with paint, Look at it. If you prep it real nice and you prep it correctly, you get a nice OEM looking vintage cowl tag. Never removed, never, here, even the VIN number here. Take the extra time to do the quality work. That screams quality. and time consuming. I love it, the fact that the Gray Ghost is now out of Fab and into the wiring shop. Everybody's moving forward, just like the kids in the bus, man. The wheels go round and round. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna go over to my other shop. I got an R&D project where I'm trying to increase the quality of the coatings we're using on the chassis. I'll show you, come on, let's check it out. So this is another research project. I research everything. Did you ever notice that? Like, double check, triple check, check again, test it again. Right now what we're doing is they're setting up that hood because we've been shooting the chassis with an epoxy after it's all media blasted with epoxy. We got etchings into it and acid as etching epoxy. So that 3 times fast. Acid etching epoxy. There you go. Anyways, so we use PPG products, and right now what we're trying to do is I have the what I call stipple finish that I do under the hood. I do it on the inner fender wells, that kind of stuff, and I have to do that with a touch of finesse. So it's actually a paint product that's a single stage, not a base coat clear coat. It's a single stage paint that we put down there, and I put it in. It takes a hand. It takes a special touch to be able to do it exactly the way I want it to do, because there's a look that I'm looking for, and I want durability. So I've actually been using that Raptor liner on the bottom side of the car, and I know that's something super durable. What I'm interested in is, can we actually do the chassis in that Raptor liner, which is actually going to be through a special cup, which is actually a pressurized cup. So basically, when you hook it up to your gun, you pressurize the cup. That gives you the ability to use a much smaller orifice when you shoot it, which changes the texture of it. Did you follow me on that? Pressurized cup. Push pressure here inside the cup itself, so now it's like on the gun. You'll see it going on. But anyways, that's the trick to actually lowering the pressure and keeping the orifice size, which gives you a smaller particulate, which gives you a smoother pattern. There you go. That's what we're trying. So all the lines you're seeing right there is they're just stepping out because we're going to do it at different pressures and different strategies, and then I can pick a style. Now, look, I know the durability stuff. It's all about getting the durability, the functionality that we're looking for. All right, that's what we're up to. Paint, 101, 103, 103. How many of you guys own a pickup truck, right? And the bed liner in the back of the pickup truck is like impervious. You can like throw an engine block in there, all kinds of stuff. No oils, no gas, fuels, brake cleaning. It does nothing gets that stuff out of there, right? So what I did is I went to PPG and I said, guys, I want to use your product, but I want to actually have it have this type of look because I want to undercoat those chassis with something that is totally impervious. And that's what you're looking at here. We are doing different formulas and mixtures, and we're actually adding thinner to it as a carrier. So as we spray it, it gets a different texture and a different look and a cool feel. But we get that durability that I'm looking for. It's just I want the look. I got the durability and the look. Put those together, and we are in the pursuit of perfection. Oh yeah. I love my job. I'm always on the pursuit of perfection. I like figuring things out. Yeah, we make some mistakes. Yeah, sometimes you go a little bit backwards, but I got to tell you, perfection is about the pursuit of perfection, because really there's nothing perfect out there, especially me. Ha! These cars are awesome. 1 was great, 2's better, 3, it's just going to continue to get better. We're going to have some fun with it. Wait till you see what I'm going to do next. Off to something different. This is the place, this beautiful, lovely couch you're looking at. This old roughneck, terrible couch in the hot rod shop is where I do a Bible study here on Tuesday mornings with my friends. We sit around, we read something out of Scripture, and we go through different verses, chapters, keep reading on and on. There's just so much knowledge in here that we share it together, and then we just kind of talk about it. I'm going to share with you guys just a couple things that were leaning out to me. This is your Bible study. I'm going to teach you guys something if you didn't know. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John are called the Gospels. That's the four, the three? Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, 3. No, that's the 4 first chapters or books of the Bible that are in the New Testament, right? And those are all the accounts of like Jesus's life and him hanging out. When you see the red letters like this, that actually means they're quotes that Jesus said, all right? So I'm going to give you some quotes that Jesus said. Satan was tempting Jesus. So right after Jesus got baptized, he came out of the water with John. You guys probably know John the Baptist story. He went out in the desert and he fasted for 40 days. So Satan came up to Jesus and was talking to him. So whenever people say that wherever God is, Satan can't be, he can. It's right here in the Bible. I'm going to read it to you. So then Jesus was led by the Spirit into the desert where he was tempted by the devil after fasting for 40 days and 40 nights. He was hungry. And the tempter called him and said, "If you're the Son of God, tell these stones in front of you to turn into bread." Jesus answered to him, It is written, man does not live on bread alone, but only on the word that comes out of God's mouth. It's written in the Old Testament, so Jesus is talking about that. Then the devil again goes, the devil took him to the holy city and put him on the highest point of the temple. He said, if you're the Son of God, throw yourself down. It is written, he will command his angels concerning you. They will lift you up with their hands so that you won't even strike your foot against the stone. Jesus answered again. Notice the red letters, ready? It is also written, do not put your Lord God to the test. And again, the devil tried. He took him to the very highest mountain and he showed him all of the kingdoms of the world and all its splendor. And he said, I will give you all of this if you just bow down and worship me. Now, Satan is saying, worship me, meaning like worship Satan to Jesus. Really? Really? What did Jesus say? Get away from me, Satan. It is written, worship the Lord your God and serve him only. The devil left him and the angels came and attended to him. But whenever Satan was approaching Jesus, you know what he did? He quoted things that were in the Bible. Like the things in the Old Testament, because Jesus was obviously Jewish. So I gave you guys a Bible study. That's out of the book of Matthew. I'll tell you where it's at. It's kind of like Matthew 4, 1 through 12. We did a Bible study today, guys. You learned the books of the Bible, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. We know that Jesus and Satan were actually hanging out and talking to each other. That's interesting. And the red letters are what Jesus said. And when he was confronted with bad stuff, you know what he did? He just went to the Bible. Go to the Bible. That's why I always say, get yourself a Bible, find your friends, somebody who knows a little bit about it, get you good information, find yourself a good Bible-believing church, build some community, and learn about it. Spend some time. This is the Bible study, Coach. This is the area. This is what we do. All right, thanks for tuning in. Like, subscribe, follow along. And like I said, get a Bible. Really. Even Jesus did it. Quoted what was in here. All right, peace out.